Thank you. You're too kind. Today is special, right? Even for me, folks, I am in the presence of greatness. And there's no question about it, man. Show some love, man. I have two guests here today, and it's such an honor to be hanging you with these two legends. I'm going to introduce the first one. We're going to shoot the breeze, and then the second one, I'll tell you who they are. I am in the presence of, put your hands together for Mr. MP, Honorable Fritz Bafo! So it's called Ni Ayebuafo. Show it some love. Put your hands together. Welcome, Ni Ayebuafo. There. Oh wow, Fritz.
Yes, man.
Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you very much.
And we're going to be introducing another person very soon.
Yes.
And I'm sure even without mentioning him, they know if it's Fritz, it must be the other one. But we're going to pause for the course when we come back.
All right.
Let's shoot the breeze.
Okay.
Take it around, folks. We'll be right back.
Don't move, don't blink, don't breathe. The KSM Show will be right back.
KSM Show.
We're back. And very soon, I'll let Fritz introduce the other person that's coming on. But in the meantime, Ni Ayebuafo. So you became a chief?
Yes.
When?
On the 6th of March.
Wow.
Yes, this year.
Wow. Fritz, you have a very, very, very interesting history, man. You know. I mean, we can't talk about all your history, but the high points, man.
Yes.
You journalist?
That's right.
TV producer, host. You're doing a great show called Sincerely Yours.
That's right.
Is the footage still around?
There's a lot of footage, yes.
Yeah?
I have about 5,000 tapes.
5,000 tapes?
Yes. And then analog, so we're looking at the cleaning them up and then
digitizing them.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sincerely Yours was big. It was huge.
Yes.
And while you're doing Sincerely Yours too, you're a journalist.
Yeah.
And then you went to Nigeria?
I went to Nigeria, yes. I went to Nigeria. I got a job with the Sheraton in Ikeja as a consultant, but with the status of a director. You know, I was handling their events, and they had a club that had 1,000 richest Nigerians as members of that club, and I had to handle them and you know, entertain them in different ways. So I spent a year in Nigeria from 1990 to 1991. But before that, you know, I was visiting Nigeria frequently, and I introduced our kind of stand-up comedy to Nigeria.
I was going to come to that. So while you were there as a consultant?
Yes, that was before. It was as a result of what I was doing that I was invited to Nigeria to become a consultant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the comedy aspect.
Yes.
Did it start when you were in Nigeria or before?
Well, it started here. I came back from Britain finally in 1985 after being away off and on for about 13, 14 years. And I couldn't get a job. I tried to get into GBC, and they said you have to start from the beginning. And at my age, I didn't think that was the right thing. And I'd been working for British television at a certain level, so I didn't think. So I decided that I have to find something to do. I worked with my dad. He had a little school, and I helped him. I started teaching a bit and all that kind of thing. But then I was invited by ITG, International Tobacco at the time, headed by B.A. Mensah, they had the George Daku show. George Daku had come and was going around. He was very, very huge then. So I was the MC, and I went round with him and everything. And at the first show, actually, it was Mike Egan, who was meant to be the member of, the master of ceremony. And I went there as master of ceremony, and there was a clash. But Mike Egan was so gracious, so fantastic. He was a gentleman. He said, "Oh, young man, you know, because we've known each other for years, I think there's an opportunity for you to show what you've got." So, you know, I got on the stage. I mean, he came and introduced me to and all that kind of thing. Very, very kind of him. And this was a big show. Then the lights went off. And, you know, because the equipment that George Daku and his band, Phantom F, brought were so powerful at the time at the banquet hall. And I don't think the electricity couldn't take it. So here were people who paid a lot of money who were sitting in the darkness. And I was the master of ceremony. So with my loud voice, I decided to tell jokes. So people started laughing and falling all over and all that kind of thing. And then the lights came back on. And they said, oh, we still want him, you know, and the band had to come and play. But that was the start of it, you know. I mean, being a master of ceremonies, I mean, at that time, we had all kinds of problems. So, you know, anytime there was a problem and you're a good master of ceremonies, you tell a joke. And people then forget about what is happening. And I had that sort of voice that could, you know, was amplified enough. I didn't need amplification. So it's something I took on.
So you were telling jokes.
I was telling jokes, yeah.
That went so well.
Went so well. And then, you know, I moved with George Daku for about a month, traveling around the country. And we became very, very, very good friends. And from there, you know, I was invited to so many occasions. But I must tell you, I was doing emceeing for weddings, but I wouldn't charge because I didn't feel that you know, that's what I wanted to do. But I mean, if you're a friend and you were close enough, I'd do MC for weddings. But then the big shows. And then there was a lady called Miata Fambule from Liberia. I'd lived in Liberia before. I had a program in Liberia. So she said she was going to launch her album in Nigeria. So I should come along with her and do it because she wanted a new face. And I went to Nigeria and I was a big hit. So I started doing stand-up comedy as a sideline. I was invited to so many shows. I started making a little bit of money. So I spent a lot of time in Nigeria and I come back. Meanwhile, I'd already started Sincerely Yours. It was very difficult getting the financing. I was an independent producer. So I just decided that the best thing to do was to make money in Nigeria, come back and fund the show. So I started doing it internationally. I had access to cameras in Nigeria. Here, it was very difficult. The only two places that had cameras were GBC and what is now TV3, Ghana Films. And it was very difficult because we only had one channel, TV channel. And, you know, the president at that time needed, the chairman of the PNDC at that time needed the cameras most of the time. So getting access to a camera was difficult. So I started using the cameras in Nigeria and I started the international aspect of it. But there was a certain time when Sincerely Yours settled. And I realized that it wasn't the international scene that I wanted to show. I wanted to show Ghana. So I showcased Ghana. I went around all the 10 regions. I went to all the places. Even one of the waterfalls that people now clap their hands about, we were the first to film it. I mean, there were so many firsts because of the things that we did. Yes, that was it. But the comedy became the big thing because, you know, for 10, 15 minutes you stand and you be paid a little bit of dosh that was more than you know, working the whole 8 hours and all that. So I took it very, very seriously and it was great fun. But with Tommy and Forsen, who F&F, I mean, we'll talk about that later, but we met and I think that it's best that he will tell you that story if you ever meet him. Yeah, so, you know, but I also did that program and I had the support of my father. You know, he acted in Boy Kumasenu and
yeah, that was the first
feature film.
Feature Ghanaian film, The Boy Kumasenu and Mr. Builds a House.
Builds a House, and then
I was a little. I'm sure that very, very few of our audience do. You know, but that was your dad.
Yeah, you know, when we were growing up in Tech, every Fridays they used to show films at the boarding house, and we'd go and they showed these films. But those films were done in the 50s. We were about 5, 6 years or 7 years before we were born, but that was it. You know, he said, look, you're going to do this thing, you have to do it well. And I didn't have any money. He said, okay. With Tommy, we hustled around and he gave us a little bit of money and we were able to do 7 programs. But that's another story, you know. But that was the comedy aspect of coming on television.
Yeah.
But comedy was great. But you see, a lot of people didn't understand that it was something that it was because I had a gift. But that wasn't my training, you know. I'd done I went to university, I did management and all that. So that was why I could do the work that I did in Nigeria, all right? And I was doing consultancies and everything. And in 1991, Jerry Rawlings, I got in touch, we got together. And then I decided that, you know, after sitting down with him and interrogating what he wanted, I realized that, you know, this is a man after my heart, so I'd work towards Ghana. At that time, we were not even thinking of going into the democratic dispensation, but gradually that's where I drifted to. So that was the comedy before the politics.
The comedy before the politics, and then the real politics, you know. At some point when you decided to run for as MP, there was a
Yeah, but the funny thing is that, you know, I find real politics funnier than comedy. It's a comedy of errors, comedy of everything, you know?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So
you know?
going from stand-up comedy
Yeah.
to politics, you
Yeah.
thought it was just a continuation of
Well,
what you do?
yeah, continuation in terms of style and the fact that you could see funny things, because you see, comedy is about observation. You've just
Yeah.
got to, but with politics, you had a real opportunity to watch people.
Yeah.
You know, though
Yeah.
the good guys and the bad guys, the pompous guys and the humble guys and all that. You know,
Yeah.
the women and, you know, it was great fun. Yeah, great fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you did 2 terms, or was it
2 terms.
Two
yes.
terms.
Yeah, 8 years, yes.
8 years.
Yeah.
As MP. Were people taking you seriously, or did you have to let people know that?
Well, I don't think that when if I'm not smiling and I've got a stern face,
You won't
if you
take me
don't take me seriously, then it's up to you. But you know, the thing is that I think I read a lot, and I'm
Was your background in comedy an asset or a liability?
very much an asset.
Fantastic.
Especially in dealing with people. You know, you could disarm people with your humor, and then you could come down to a certain level where they understand. You know, but basically, I'm a big guy. I'm 6'2" and all that. So I'm a little intimidating sometimes. But then when, you know, I go into my comedy and I start cracking jokes and I start coming down there, people relax, and then, you know, so it was something, you know. It's not something that I recommend for everybody. Politics is a very stressful.
Politics?
In Ghana, it's very, very stressful. It takes a lot out of you. But I don't regret ever doing it. But I won't do that. I won't do that again. No.
If you had to do it, you wouldn't do it again?
No.
Really?
No. I mean, but you never say never. But the thing is, that's what I'm out of it. I'd love to see it from, you know, afar. You know, I'm part and parcel of politics. I belong to a political party. I work for my political party. But to become an elected representative is a very difficult thing.
But you're now Ni Ayewafo.
Yes. I'm actually the Noya Mancha, which is the Nkoswahini of my maternal grandmother's village. It's called Akweman, and it's near, it's between Nsawam and Adeso, and the Ga part of that area. And my family owned the land and the villages, a couple of villages in there. And I went to visit, because I was told that I had to come and see them and talk to them. They grabbed me, and
Oh, really?
I didn't have a choice in the matter.
So physically, they just grabbed you?
They just grabbed me and said, "Hey, you know, you're the one." And then they gave me a name, and so therefore here I am. And I didn't think that, with respect to my ancestors, that I could turn it down.
Just a lot, man. Hey, this is only the first part. The fun is going to continue. We're going to pause for the cause. When we come back, I'll have him introduce the second guest, and the fun will continue. Stick around. We'll be right back.
It's gonna get sweeter than guinea fowl. It's the KSM Show.